Welcome
and
back.
We're live.
Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm Tim. This is Mike. The Mike and Tim Show.
Hey, what's
It's
good?
official.
It's
official because Mike has an official headset with an official boomstick, and you can see that boomstick, which you should
Just
maybe
for you
think about. You should maybe think about putting something on that boomstick to make it look like it's something else that's just sitting right there.
Like, you want me to attach, like, I don't know, something awkward coming to my mouth? Like, I know where you're going with this.
Comedy reasons. And then you talk to it, you'll feel more personal, like it's a relationship.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why I need this? Like, you just put that in my mouth, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, we couldn't hear what you were saying, but
a lot of mumble.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Cool. I like that.
How much was that headset again? How much was it?
That headset was a little
50?
costly.
$60.
Plus 60 plus
the price is right.
$370. $390 on top of that. And you get yourself a pair of these B&Ws. Boom.
So, are they more expensive than maybe the last purchase you made in like the last year or so? Or have you made some pretty expensive purchases where it's just like, it's like $400, no big deal?
Okay, so purchases as in like physical
electronic
product
things
or
personal items,
like
not mortgages or.
No, well, I did buy the iPhone 10. That was our last expensive product, right?
Did you pay it out front though, or did you make a payment plan?
I did a payment plan. I put $300
so you spent
down.
Like $30.
$300 and $300. No, actually $400 because of the tax.
Okay.
So $400 upfront. So that's almost. So these are still more expensive. And I did buy other headphones, the B&Os. Those cost me $350.
Wait, so you have two pair of headphones that are almost about $400?
But those are AirPods, though.
Oh, that's how expensive those are? You're talking about the ones for the iPhone.
Yes, but these are not the Apple AirPods. These are the Bang & Olufsen AirPods. Do I have it? Hold on, let me get them real quick.
So for this part of the podcast, he's going to be stepping out, play some music.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, he's back. Okay. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right, look. So these are B&Os. Freaking amazing. Look how they come.
That's
right. Right. So this is leather.
This is
real
purchase there.
Real leather. Well, it was three something with tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all right. So this is a charging station. You got the little AirPods, right? Look at that. Come on. It's pretty cool.
Do they stay in?
They stay in, man. Like, this is like, when we go to the gun range, you got those earplugs?
Yes.
They're the same. They're silicone. So you form it.
Silicone or silicone?
Oh, you got me there. Uh-oh.
Silicone is where you go to see people dress up like other silicone products.
No, silicone is actually the people from the Silicon Valley that like to con people into investing in their crazy ideas, and then they run away and sell it and make millions of dollars like on the show. That's
as if it was that easy, because people just have that much money to. Which why it's just fake. That's why it's silicone. It's
exactly.
Like where did that come from? What is it?
From fake boobs.
And surgery. Lots of surgery.
Yeah. Lots of surgery. That's very Hollywood. So these are freaking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I could look. This is touch. Like all I got to do is touch it and it turns on like slightly. You just touch it and it turns on. It eliminates the voice. It works like a hearing aid. So if I'm listening to music, let's say I'm at work, somebody comes up to me, I just press it slightly and it turns the music off and it amplifies your voice so I can still hear you with them on, like a hearing aid. And then when I want to stop the conversation, I just touch it and the music comes right back on. Freaking amazing.
Wow.
And that's
But you've tried like running with them or jogging or jumping up and down.
I use them at the gym.
What?
They never come off. They never come off.
I'm gonna buy them, dude.
Never.
There's something about Bluetooth at the gym, and there's never been a setup quite good enough for you. Because if you get the big headset, the minute you lay on your back for a bench press, they flap.
Like this. These are probably these are pretty strong.
No, just like those. No, that's what I'm talking about.
But they're heavy. They're heavy. They're heavy, right? And then you got the Beats. You got the Beats. They're heavy, right?
A little bit.
And then you could a little heavy, but it's bulky. Blah blah blah. And you're sweating. And then you could get the AirPods.
Sweat's the worst part, I think.
It is.
Because it traps in. I feel like I get more, my ears sweat more than the rest of my.
Yeah, because there's like that nasty ass moisture. And it's like, no. And then you got the AirPods, which they easily come off. Like, they don't easily come off. For what they are, it's okay, but they don't cancel noise. And if you do a wrong movement, you'll probably it just comes off. These are just like earplugs at the range. And
they'll probably get sweaty too a little bit, but if they stay in, and if I can run a 2-mile run with those, I could probably get away with it because of how cold it is. I have a stocking cap on, and you know how the rules are. We're at APFT.
Oh, that's right.
Supposed to have music, but I might be able to get away with it if I had those.
Yeah, that's right. You can put earmuffs on.
Yeah, I'd have to be able to play music though from my iWatch.
Yeah, you can. You can do that with this.
I think so.
That's what I do. I put the Apple Watch, and I can play music. I can switch it, and it works. It works perfectly, man. And the battery life is excellent. Like 4 to 5 hours? It's pretty good. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell it, but I like it. I don't regret the purchase. So yeah, I think that's my last expensive purchase. Mm-hmm. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, that's the only tech stuff that I really got. What about you? What's your last big purchase?
I mean, I'm kind of with you on the iPhone because I did buy the iPhone X.
Did you buy it outright?
No, I did not. And I didn't pay anything down either. So it was straight up $30 a month or whatever it was on the payment plan. But I had already paid off the old phone, so it's not like I was tacking on anything. And you get the next free upgrade, but there's still a payment plan that goes with it. I think I can't remember how much they take off the phone, but I didn't have to pay outright. Other than that, just my wife's iPad Pro, but that was for Christmas, so I don't know if that counts. $1,000.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But that's
Christmas
because
presents.
it comes. It is a little over $1,000. It was like 990 something, and then the keyboard. It's like another 300, and then the pen. Yeah, the pen is like 45 or thing. So yeah, but she loves it though because she goes to school and then she can crop pictures and put it on a notepad file and write on it while she's watching the class. So she's taking like super good notes.
I would actually like that. Yeah. I want something like that. Very simple. I think it's actually really good because laptop in the class is so clunky. I freaking hate it. Get to the class, you got to take it out, and I know these are first world problems, but taking out the laptop and then you got to connect it, and it's so freaking annoying with that iPad. You're just like boom, 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 really easy.
Yep.
I did get Saray. I got Saray a nice watch, a Citizens. It has like sapphire crystal and like diamonds in it, and so
is that for Christmas?
That was for her birthday. Her birthday was on November 26th. So it was her birthday, and then on December 12th, it was my mom's birthday, and then I had Christmas. So yeah, that's my every year thing. My
you're gonna
wallet.
have to come up with a way to pay off those things that you keep taking loans on, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to go to the corner, sell this skinny ass of mine.
All right, so we're back to record. That's gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah, that's normal.
But we've upgraded quite a bit I mean,
Right.
talk about the purchases and all that good stuff, but considering
this is the second one, man. This is like the second one.
You upgraded a lot. I got a
from 1
loopback
to
software.
2. Yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is.
Our screens are more symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
So people can see my face this time.
Bro, the first one we didn't even introduce ourselves. I didn't have headphones. I didn't have anything. I was just used like the screen and the computer. That's it. Now I went out and got this.
Or a razor.
Yeah, no, I need a shave. Bro, it's freezing over here. I just gotta have the whole like Sasquatch thing going on.
Yeah, they say people with facial hair can't feel temperatures up to 10 degrees from someone who doesn't.
Oh, really? So you're hitting me with the trivia. That's
a lie. I just made that up. Make it sound like it was important that you didn't shave.
Yeah, well, you're pretty much like the internet. You're just full of fake knowledge.
I mean, they got to make their money somehow. Telling the truth just doesn't sell.
No. So who's making
20 years
money?
after the fact it does, but during the fact, the lies are what really sell.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's all about the money, right?
So, yeah, that's what they say. But is it really, or is it about the power? Ooh.
Isn't
it? You watch the House of Cards, right? Do you watch House of Cards?
I've watched it.
Have you ever seen that part that he says, Frank Underwood says, it's like money is great, but it's the power that actually, sustains. It's like buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So money is like, money is like the McMansion. It doesn't last forever, but power is like that Capitol building or like that structure, that Coliseum, or, that governmental building. That institution is just there. You can't bring it down. That's power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's a good analogy. I didn't do it as good as he did, but when he said it, I was like, whoa, I like it.
Well,
I like it.
That's kind of an oxymoron, considering it's called the House of Cards, which is a structure that is not made of sound structure. So he's talking about something that it's true, but it's not the fundamental value of the show, right? At that point,
no,
it's just
the show's all about corruption.
Right. Well, it's corruption, and the house is made of cards. You have this card and that card, and they stack. House of Cards, and one wind and gusted, and everything's gone.
Pump the brakes.
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what freaking House of Cards you're watching.
But it's metaphor. It's all about the metaphor.
Yeah, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
But
I thought that's what
it actually is a House of Cards, because look at what has happening with Kevin Spacey, and now the show is probably going to get canceled. Yeah.
That's right.
Or something. So yeah.
It's a sound structure until you.
The show's about scandal, and there was actual real scandal going on behind the.
But his scandal was being vicarious, wasn't it?
Actually being a molester of boys, of young boys. So yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Was it proven?
He admitted it.
Headlines.
Okay. He admitted it. So what more proof can you want?
How young
the guy was like, what? The guy was in his teens. He wasn't like 18. He was like 14, 15 apparently. So
and he knew.
Yeah, so not only did he force himself upon somebody, he forced himself upon another guy without acting like he was gay. And on top of that, it was a minor. And he did that in the 80s. So, and then instead of really apologizing, he was he made it all about him. Very, very political. I bet he learned that from doing House of Cards. All that political training that he had to do, that's exactly what he did in real life. And he really maneuvered it.
Does it work?
Well, it works temporarily because
for who? Who's the target audience that they think that works? Because you're right, that is a political scheme. And every time I see it or I hear it, I realize it. And I say, that guy is nuts if he thinks that everyone else is going to agree with what he just said. Especially when the Roger Moore was going on with the Democrat that actually resigned. And he was like, oh, I'm resigning, but because I did wrong. But I mean, I'm not the bad guy. I mean, look, Roger Moore's still going, and Trump's still going, and he grabs women by that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
there was a Democrat guy, I just can't remember his name, but really, like, not apologizing for your actions. Everyone realizes you never apologized. Everyone realized you backpedaled it and tried to take the blame. You did a Hillary Clinton.
Well,
I think Hillary does that more, and that's why she didn't win the election.
I think everyone does it that's in the media, and that's why it's all bullshit. Because you know what? They're not really doing it because they want to apologize. They're doing it because they don't want to lose sponsors and they don't want to have bad press and blah, blah, blah. But I never see them like, really like, I feel so sorry about what I did. It was like, no, they're doing it because they're forced to do it. So our society is so fake because our society expects these people to come and apologize forcibly, not coming from the heart, and, and having them do it and then acting like it's true. Come on, man. Like, we know that they're not really apologizing from the heart. They're only doing it because we are putting their feet to the fire. That's right. What's happening. It's ridiculous. You know what? I don't care. You didn't do it to me. I don't care what any of these people are doing. And it sounds pretty cold-blooded, like, oh, you don't care? Like, you just prefer the people just go and commit these atrocities? Like, no. Number one, it's not affecting me. That's not my problem. That's the problem between the person that did it and the victim. And that's why we have a justice system, and that's how things are supposed to be. I'm not a social justice warrior going out there, and that's not who I am. If everybody else wants to do that, go ahead. I have too much things to do to be worrying about all of these freaking little things. You know what? It's because we have too much time on our hands. People are just going out of their way to nitpick at society because they have nothing else to do. Let's see. Go to Africa. Go to, the Middle East to see if they're really nitpicking these type of, like, issues. No, man. They're freaking worried about, are they going to get through the day? Or, are they going to, have food to eat? Who, are their kids and their wife or husband going to eat? Or they're not going to get sick? That's what they're worrying about. But over here, we're worrying about, well, oh, man, this person just used a pronoun incorrectly about somebody's gender or whatever the fuck. It's like, I understand everyone has an identity, but come on, man, this really.
It seems childish to me because I have a 6-year-old son, and I'm telling him now, hey, your predicament is really nice. All right, you've gone to more states by the age of 5 than I had when I was 20. You've flown, you've gone to Disney World 3 times, you have a lot of toys. He has an awesome 4-wheeler, things that I never had. And then whenever he gets a little out of control with his I wants, we remind him that there's kids in particular parts of the world that he needs to be thinking about just to humble himself. He's 6. Now you're talking about a group of adults right now, right? You're saying these guys are adults and they yet can't figure out where they are in the spectrum of fairness, where they are in the spectrum of like what is right and wrong, where's the limits. It's childish.
It is childish. It's like adults, a lot of, I don't see an excuse for a lot of these people that grew up. You and I are we're our early 30s, right? I'm 31, turning 32 next month. We were raised in schools that told us sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And generations before that also. So I don't know where the hell all of this just came from that you can't say things because, it's, that's inappropriate. That hurts. It's painful. That's like bullying. Like, no. You ever been bullied? Everyone has once in their life been bullied. Even bullies have been bullied. And bullying is not just saying, hey, you're an idiot. Like, no, that's not. Or that you're, you're gay or you're black or you're Puerto Rican, like in a negative connotation of, no, that's to me not bullying. Bullying is actually constantly getting harassed, maybe beat up. Kids get beat up all the time. That's bullying. Let's see, like scared of going to school because you're always getting picked on and punched. And, that's bullying. We're
actually flipped. right?
Yeah, well, we're
Words won't
degrading
hurt
the
me.
word.
Now it's like, look, break my arm, but don't call me something, because words hurt
exactly.
me. Sticks and stones, they don't affect me. They break my bones, but whatever. Just don't call me that.
Don't call me that. How dare you? How dare you? You're horrible.
I'll make sure everyone knows you called me that.
I'm going to tell on social media right now and tell everyone that you're a freaking bigot. That's what it is.
Such a good word.
Everyone's a bigot. Everyone's a bigot.
Yep.
Look, the word bigot, the word rhetoric, racist, like I've never heard those words so much in my life until these last couple years. Like obviously those words always existed, but damn, man, how they just throw those words around all the time. Everyone's a bigot now. Everyone's a racist. Everyone's insensitive. Get the fuck out of here. You know what? Then call me insensitive then. I'm an insensitive person. I prefer to be insensitive than to be catering to everyone's freaking needs. I don't want to cater to everyone's needs. Why should I cater to everyone's needs? Everyone's not catering their needs to mine. I do what it's fair. I do what's fair.
Well, like you said, the people are bored, so they have time to complain. Where are they getting this time?
I know.
Where? I don't have it. I can't sit all day and complain. I have a job. I got school. I got a family to take care of. And I complain within my family about work and things like that, but I don't have time to publish it. I don't have time to argue and argue and argue. Well, we're doing this podcast, so I guess I would have a weekend to do that stuff. But I still, at that point, I feel like it's a waste of my time. There's so many things that you're wasting by taking your time out and putting your energy into this complaining mode. And it becomes
negative
contagious.
Energy. It's not positive energy. It's negative energy. It's constant negativity. It's everything. And it's like no dialogue. It's just yelling, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to listen to what you're telling me. And I'm just going to yell and yell and yell. And you're wrong and I'm right. Like, we're not going to get anywhere like that. If that's the way things are going to be.
You're building your own
exactly
wall around what you'll start to accept. And when you start really closing in, it becomes a very selfish world.
Yeah, you're building your own wall. And Mexico isn't even paying for it, man. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell, man? What's going on with that?
No one knows who's going to pay for it. But in the end, you pay for it. Because now you're surrounded by a wall. And you have no friends. No one wants to talk to you because they will wind up on Facebook.
Self-loathing. Bro, how many people on Facebook do you see that they're always self-loathing, always complaining? Everything is a complaint. Everything is a drag. And Facebook has just become that, which is why I don't even like Facebook anymore.
We can't accept people for mistakes either. You make a mistake, you're no longer acceptable. Not any time later. There's no coming back. This isn't church. No confession's going to bring you back in. The minute you make a mistake, you're done. And I hate that because when you look at the greatest artists of our time, they all had perverted some type of side of them, like whether it was actual perversion of the normal things or perversion of thought processes or
taboo.
Yeah, like I love
Everybody
St.
has
Augustine.
something taboo.
I love St. Augustine, but before he became a saint, there was a lot of bad things that he did, but he was so pronoun, and then he was St. Augustine, and it was okay back then. And so in our history, we're taught to allow people don't disagree with their thought processes simply because of something else that doesn't refer to that was committed, right? But nowadays, it's like, dude, if Kevin Spacey is a great actor, not anymore, right? But what he did had nothing to do with acting. It was completely on the other side. But anytime someone thinks about Kevin Spacey anymore, they're going to think of a child molester. That's a problem. That's a problem.
It's totally just crazy that you could intertwine the personal and the professional that way. It's like maybe you do the best at your job, but now you can't even be, admired for it because of some error you did or, lack of judgment, some mistake. You committed some mistake and now all of that just went down the drain. You could take forever building something and building it really good and, a lot of grime and all that. And one little mistake, that's it. That's it. All that work was a waste. You're a horrible person now. Like, that's ridiculous. That's not fair for anybody. And then the thing is it's even worse because in school they teach children to make as much mistakes. Like everything. Oh yeah, that's okay. You made a mistake. Oh, you didn't do good on this test. You'll retake it. That's fine. Yeah. Hey Timmy, that's fine. You can do the test again. You got a D. Don't worry. You'll do better next time. We're gonna allow you to take that same exam, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna pass with an A. And they teach that to the children. Mm-hmm. But once they turn 18, it's not like that. It's now you make a mistake, no one's gonna forgive you. You're fucked. And how is that? That doesn't even make any sense. How are you preparing this new generation?
It's happening in colleges too. Not
yes,
so much.
Yes, it is.
But I thought it was going to be way more strict. I thought they weren't going to alleviate any grade deductions because of late turn-ins, things like that. I thought they were going to hit you hard. Like late, dude, that's 30% off, or that's whatever. But I got done with the 9th week out of the 12 weeks, and I was completely caught up. And then I'm hearing people that are still working on week 8 and week 7 stuff, and they're turning them in. And they're like, hey, well, how much will I get? And they're like, oh, no, as long as you turn it in by week 11. I'm like, what? You never once told me that. I worked till 2 in the morning on these projects trying to get them turned in because I had to go to work the next morning at 7:30, and then I would get out at noon, go to class, come back, go back to work, get off work at 4, go home, work on the next project, trying to get it done. And then on Thursday nights, I'd be there till like midnight before the lab was due on Friday. And just to find out that I could have turned all that stuff in on week 11. I could have worked on it all during the weekends. Never took time out of my Thursday and never lost sleep over it. And that pissed me off.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know what's even more ridiculous? Is that what class was that for?
That was for circuitry. So
All right, so that's for circuitry.
Right.
Now, are you doing anything about circuitry right now?
Well, no.
Exactly. So I know, but do you remember all of that stuff that you busted your ass, like all those hours up to 2 in the morning, like every specific thing? Do you remember that? Like, think of it. All of that effort to get maybe a good grade.
Well, I heard.
Was it?
I know where you're going. I know where you're getting at, but
you know what I'm trying to go with?
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I don't know. We live in crazy times. That's all I know.
We'll get even more sophisticated as soon as we get the software actually purchased. So we're not actually using free trial stuff. So.
I know. But we're testing it all out. It is what it is. This is our first, second one. Yeah, episode 2. And like I've seen a lot of podcasts, and a lot of the podcasts that people just started, like their first 1, 2, 3, even like their first 50. It's a lot of like trial and error.
Yeah.
And then after that, like I don't expect for this to be so refined. I'm not refined myself, so. But by the time hopefully a couple hundred podcasts in. This will go smoothly, and if it doesn't, oh well, we'll keep trying. It's no biggie. I'm just kicking back, man. So
like
for everyone, you like it?
I like that.
Harris.
I got to put something. I got Captain America and Baby Groot.
Love Captain America.
Bobbleheads. So I don't have a lot of paintings or things here. Just back there's my books and my awards, military stuff, and that's it.
Hey, it looks very busy.
Does it?
It looks like you have a lot going on there.
It's because I'm unorganized, man.
I'm the same way, so.
Okay. Thanks for being humble enough to say that.
That's just support. I'm giving you support. See, look at that.
That's the wrong type of support.
No, you don't like it?
No, you should be like, dude, you need to shape up. That background looks horrible. We're supposed to be doing a podcast together, and you expect me to deal with somebody else who has a background like that one. You're out of your mind. I'm not going to do that. You're lousy. You're a shitbag. You don't even deserve to be talking to me right now.
Damn, I like it. I like it.
See, I wish you would have said something like that. And then I would have said, oh, like your beard.
What's up with my beard?
I would have just said, you said all that stuff about I'm a shitbag and unorganized, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, like your beard.
beard is fucking awesome, man. I got a fist right under.
You do grow
Here.
it. I think you grow it better than I do. I haven't grown out a beard in forever.
Yeah, because you're in the freaking army, man. The only reason I have this is because I'm not in the army anymore. And if you notice, the majority of people that left the military, they all freaking grow a beard. Even if they probably hate beards, but just because they were prohibited all that time from having beards, you just grow a freaking beard. Just like out of spite. Just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I look in the beard, but you know what? I can have it. I'm going to do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's
from
pretty
no
much
shave November to no shave never.
Yeah, never shaving. I don't care. What? What is shaving
no
anyway?
No shave never. That does work. Okay. Just want to make sure. Yep.
Not never.
Not never. Yeah.
But, you know.
Once I didn't shave for a day
go
for 4 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of those comparisons.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
I didn't
happened.
shave for a week for 3 weeks. Yeah.
I shaved for a week for a year.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but I was going to the barbershop like once every 2 weeks. And then around like the end of November, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go for a while. And when Christmas comes around, I'm not going to get a haircut or a shave. I'm just going to. And that's what I did. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to just let it just, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing it, and I don't care. I'm going to get a haircut soon. Probably the next video I will. Just because I'm going to go to India next month, and I want to be, like, you know, nice and
do you do your eyebrows?
shaped up. You know I do my eyebrows.
You got.
You know I do my eyebrows. I'm Puerto Rican. Well, I'm Puerto Rican, obviously. I haven't done them for a while, but yeah. Hey, forget about it. You know what I think. Oh,
I like the hand.
There you go. Remember when bro, one time I got my eyebrows done, right? Jeff has a great story about this, and Sal and all of them. It was when I was in Charlie Battery. And I went to this. Yeah, I went to this Korean lady, and she did my eyebrows, right? And they were like really like skinny, and it was just very exaggerated. And so I'm like, out there with like the guy on, you know, like with the flag holding it, and everyone's looking at me like, what the hell's up with this guy? And then Salisa's like, hey Fig, why are your eyebrows so angry? And everybody just started laughing, like even the first sergeant and all. Everyone
you were holding the guy on,
up.
and every time Solis would yell at you, because I was behind Solis, you would turn around, right? And so like you would turn around, and your eyebrows would be down, and you would just smile like, and then you'd go back. And I remember he was like, calm down, man.
Why are you so angry?
Calm down, and you were just smiling. Like
I know.
Because your eyebrows were only down. There was no.
Everything. My whole face is smiling. I'm all happy, but my eyebrows are just pissed. I'm freaking pissed, bro.
You look like Wario.
It's like, oh my god, yeah. No, it's like
thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, the freaking eyebrows. Just people were just like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? I don't know, man. My eyebrows just have their own personality,
Yeah. It's okay to have. It's okay. You came back. They grew back.
They grew back. Yeah.
Right. So I don't still criticize you because of that one event that you had with your eyebrows.
Oh, you know what? I should just go ahead and do it. Why not?
What?
Why not? Just get them like really angry, just pissed off.
Yeah.
Maybe Scarface would just like slit it, just like big ass just gash, and just have them like really
Well, that's
angry.
an interesting concept, right? So, when I read the book Ready Player One, he has to shave his eyebrows so that those goggles like stay where they're at.
Oh, really? Yeah, because they need to be airtight, right?
So
you imagine that?
Would you do that?
Well, if I
Because you have to
do
walk out. At the end of the day, you have to take them off. You have to go get your food. Well, they order a lot of their food to where they're at, but. Would you? I mean, you'd have to. You're social. He's not social. You're social. So once you get done playing Oasis, you'd have to walk out, get some food, with no eyebrows. Would you do that?
I don't know. Maybe. How about this? How about I do like a lot of those chicks out in the West Coast, or like those like hood girls that they tattoo their eyebrows. I would tattoo some fake eyebrows, and I would do that, right?
There you go.
Wouldn't that work?
That would work.
And I would have that safety of like having that ear seal, tight, and at the same time have eyebrows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you without eyebrows. You look freaking crazy. It's like, where the hell does your forehead start? You know, where does it end? You wouldn't freaking know. You just look, just fucking naked face.
I think, I wouldn't like it. Yeah, I think I'd look weird. Guess I'll just have to find out by doing it.
What movie was it that?
We'll have to do a bet, and if I lose, I'll shave my eyebrows, and that'll be a thing.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Maybe on the Super Bowl or something. Because I need a good reason to do it. I'm not going to do it just to do it. Like, if I win the bet, I'm not going to shave my eyebrows. Maybe you would.
What would you do? Like, you're going to go to work with, like, no eyebrows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in the Army, but I don't think you're required to have eyebrows.
Oh, it's not an AR-670-1?
No, I don't think so.
Requirement of eyebrows? You're going to get a waiver? You know, he could give you a waiver, like...
I mean, how long does it take for eyebrows to grow back?
I don't know, man. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't have them all like bad.
That's true. But how long did it take just for the ends to come back?
You know what? It takes about 2 weeks for like it to get back to its normal way. Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't do it. You're right. I have to go to school still, and I got classmates. Not that it matters. Bro, it matters.
You would look freaking crazy. You would look like one of those cone heads.
I'd have to explain myself. Oh,
every time.
Every time.
People would look at you. You would have to wear those big ass pilot glasses, like sunglasses, all the time.
And with the glasses on. You sit back.
Just always. With
Teach, I'm good. I got it. I'm not sleeping. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do that.
Well, I'm not doing it. Now that I thought about it, I'll have to wait till I'm not in college or not doing anything else ever. So.
Yeah. How about never having that idea and just never doing it?
This is a stupid idea. It was about a book. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not going to do it. It was a good book, though.
What's the last book you read?
That was it. I'm almost done with the history of the Catholic Church. I only have like 4 more hours or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm constantly reading the Bible, so I guess that counts.
No, that's good.
I got a nice Bible. I'd have to run and go grab it, which I'm not going to do. But I got this new, they call it the Didac.
I've heard of that.
It was originally written just like every other Catholic Bible, but the name Didac has a biblical attachment to a figure that was important before the actual writing of the New Testament. Same with Ignatius. There's another Ignatius version of the Bible. But, yeah, it's really interesting when you get to the history of things. However, I bought the Catholic tabs, and so I tabbed all the pages. And that's useful. And the color of the tab directs you to the type of century that book came from. And you'll see that some of the tabs line up later than in between. It's not like the Bible's written chronologically. It's not. You know, like the 4th century stuff will be way in the New Testament.
Some of the books are actually at the same time.
Well, you know, they'll have a preface to every chapter in the Didac, and it tells you that this might have been written by someone who favored this person way after that person had died. And I came to think of it too, like, why would they take it and put it in the Bible if it's not written by the person that the story's about, and it's written a long time afterwards? How are you using that as an authentic source? But then I thought about it too. You imagine writing bad about a king during the time he's alive, and he reads it?
Well,
you'd die.
That's what makes it more heroic, wouldn't it?
But you wouldn't read it because he would have destroyed every copy of it.
That's why you would have to have it hidden, and then make sure that somebody hides it for you until.
But you always have those people that are like, I know where it's at, and if you give me a lot of money, I'll. Right?
Oh, like blackmail? Like, oh man, I'm gonna blackmail this guy.
And he dies anyway. It's a common story.
It's like, that's pretty crazy. No, but I don't know, man. Like, what? Like the Bible. The Bible was created by a bunch of people in the church, and so, the Bible in itself, it's just a bunch of books.
Joe Rogan said, and I heard him, I love his show, but he said that Emperor Constantine built the New Testament. He's like, we all know that Emperor Constantine formed the New Testament, right? He says that. And it's not true. So I'm wondering where he got that information. Because Emperor Constantine had a lot to do with Christianity. He did. He was an important figure. Probably the second most important.
I think what he means, though, is that not that he actually like made it, but he had the Catholic or the Roman Catholics at that time put that together.
What if he didn't, though? Because the New Testament wasn't even finished by the time he ended his reign as emperor. His son and a couple of sons later were Christian, and then after that it kind of went through a fallacy where it was not a Christian emperor for a little bit, and then it came back, and the Renaissance, the whole medieval times, the Crusades and things like that happened, and then there's a lot of issue with Roman power. But regardless, there was councils that he put together, and they call them ecumenical councils, and they did add they're invited like 1,500 bishops and priests and to come to this ecumenical council, and it happened 4 times. None of those times did they talk about what would go in the New Testament. Each time it was about understanding the Trinity of Christ. Was Jesus God? That was the Nicene Creed that was developed after they decided, yes, there is a Trinity, even though the word Trinity is not in the Bible. So they're just like, no. But as scholars, we understand that this is truth. And that's what they did at the very first ecumenical council in Nicaea. They said that's truth. And anyone that thought otherwise was heretic. And there was a bunch of people that thought otherwise.
That's groupthink. That's groupthink.
It's a populist thing. Yeah.
That was a group, and they all like, well, this is what we think. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Oh, you're right. And they all have the same philosophy. And that's groupthink. That's what we call groupthink right now. And that's what they thought was right. We don't know if that's right. But they had the power, so whoever has the power is what's right? That's how the world is.
Unfortunately.
That's how if you could control the media, if you could control those forms of communication, you have the most power. You're able to pretty much do what you please. Because what's history? History is pretty much, communication, and the history that we hear about is whoever was in power, what they allowed to be transferred over. Because think of it, weren't we talking about the other day how the Pilgrims came over and that you thought certain things about that they were the first ones or not the first ones? What was it that we were talking about?
The first ones of what?
Coming over to America because of they wanted freedom of religion, blah, blah, blah. Remember we had that
Puritans.
conversation?
Right, you're talking about the pilgrimage to come over.
Was that what we were talking about? We were talking about that, remember?
I know we started talking about Martin Luther and the Reformation and how that started the Protestants. And yeah, the Protestants were the first ones to colonize. But their story is actually really interesting. The history of Protestants does back to Martin Luther. And it's weird that a lot of people correlate Protestant religions being Protestant against the Catholic Church. That meant, it was for Henry VIII and his many wives, and he wanted
and his divorce.
Right, yeah. And that's why.
That's where the Church of England came from.
Right, but that's not what started it. I mean, the Protestant religion is just.
That's not what started it, but I think the Catholics grouped it all as in anything that opposes the church, which it was just a church, right? Mm-hmm. Universal Catholic, that's what that means. Right, so anything that was against the church was a Protestant. Even because think of it right now. We have the Catholic religion, and then we have what we term as Protestant, which is evangelical, Baptist, Pentecostal. You have all of those. They're all grouped within Protestant, but they're not the same religion. Baptists and evangelists are not the same, and Pentecostals are not the same. They're not the same at all, but they're looked at Protestant because they're not Catholic. Right. So anything at that period of time was looked at as a protest against the church.
And everyone's like, but aren't they all the same? Aren't they all what's the difference if I go to Catholic church, they're going to talk about Jesus Christ. If I go to a Protestant church, they're going to be talking about Jesus Christ. Aren't they all the same, right? And the difference really is one states it has authority. There's an authoritative figure. The other states that it's based off faith alone. There's no authoritative figure. There was no hand-me-down of the church to anyone else. Where the Catholic Church says, yes, there was. We have it. It was Peter. We built it. He was the rock of the foundation on which we founded our church. And the Protestants would say, hey, it needs to be built off faith, not off a sequence of an institution. And then that's what Martin Luther's argument was. And the printing press was available. The Chinese had invented a whole bunch of stuff at that time, and the life of everything was expanding. And dang it, the trial thing just came back up again. All right, 1 second. I'm going to do this thing again. But yeah, so that's my spiel. That's what I believe. There's a lot of history that I've learned.
It's all dogma. You were talking about dogmas the other day. It's all dogma.
Which dogma wasn't a bad thing.
No, it wasn't. But it becomes a bad thing when it's all about control. People don't like to be controlled. They like to be controlled up to a certain extent. But then when it becomes too restraining or, it's too much, then that's where people back off. And then they create their own thing.
Yeah.
Everything has its divisions. If you look at, like, Jews, you have ultra-Orthodox Jews. And then you have just regular, more liberal Jews. You have different ones, right? And then you have Muslims. You have Shiite, and then you have Sunni. You just have, and then Buddhists. You have different types of Buddhists. Everybody just thinks that they have it figured out, and they have people that think that that's the right way, and hey, that's just the way things are.
Nothing's truly changed through the vast majority of the population. From the 16th century to now, you have just as many people making the same questions as they did back then. There's scholars that write about it today, just as there were scholars back then. But I just think there's more information flow now. You get all your information so quickly, so effectively now, that we can make better judgments. Now, where that leads us, I don't know. But that leads to prosperity, more people converting to one religion or another, I don't know.
Or it could just leave you to judge more, which is not
devalue everything.
Yeah, because think about it. We're talking about, being able to, come up with more judgment. That's probably what's happening right now, that we're just being able to judge more because we have so much information that we could pick and choose what's right and what's wrong. The ethical line has expanded or has broadened itself so much that everything has, there's no gray area. It's either black or white. That's it. There's no gray area. There's no slip. There's so much information that we're able to judge so much that it's just it's been watered down.
Yeah.
It's too much. So now it's like sometimes, when there's just too much information, it becomes like white noise. It's just there. And sometimes it's just better not to, know too much. Sometimes they say ignorance is bliss, right?
You introduced me to Jordan Peterson, and Jordan Peterson had a great speech about the jar. Everyone talks about your life. Some people view it half empty or half full, and then they talk about other videos you watch where they put the golf balls in there, and is it full? Well, yeah. And then he puts in sand. Oh, yeah. And it fills up. Is it full now? They're like, yeah. But then he pours in water, and the water goes in. He's like, there's so many elements of full. And then, the golf balls are the most important things. Those are the big deals. And then the sand could be something else, and whatever. Every metaphor. But they always have something that they put stuff into, and nobody really talks about that. And then Jordan Peterson goes along, and he's like, that's routine. That's waking up at 7 every morning. That's eating breakfast. That's eating lunch, eating dinner, going to sleep. That routine is the jar, and then what you fill in afterwards is the other contents, but nobody really talks about the jar. And nowadays, I think people are out of a routine because of information flow. Well, I want to say the millennials more than anyone, the generation that's just under me. People stay up till midnight. They get up at noon. They don't eat breakfast. Whatever. No, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's 90s. 2017, man, or 2018. And we don't have to have a system anymore. Nature, just do whatever. Eat whenever you're hungry. That seems to be the Mace philosophy. Like to have a level of control means that you're controlled and you're really not free. And you're not expressing yourself if you're doing what everyone else does. But in reality, you have to have a routine that structures your life, or you can't fill in the other elements that are supposed to be important. And suicide rates are way up these days. People doing acts that are insane is on an increase, at least in media. I don't know exactly the statistics, but I would think that the United States probably is a safer country today than it was 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago.
Oh, hell yeah. It's way safer. We live in safer times, man.
Yeah,
like if you look at the statistics of like the 1980s, crime was rampant. Crack epidemic, think about Detroit in the 80s, right? Detroit in the 80s, yeah, Detroit's still tough, but in the 80s, New York City in the 80s, oh my God. Like that was a risk to go. Like now you could go into New York City and people might be scared, but man, I go to New York City all the time. It's like nothing's like, wow, this is so different compared to how it used to be. Bro, it's way safer.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, like, look, go back to the 70s and the 60s, gasoline had lead in it. And come to find out, what does lead do? Lead pushes people to become violent.
Yeah.
Very violent times. Now
it's, as it increases, we do become a much cleaner society. But we've also become more passive. That's what I meant. We're more passive nowadays than we were back then.
I think we're passive aggressive is what we are.
But at the same time, we're more aggressive emotionally and more sensitive.
Yeah, because, well, all right. If you want to get into that conversation, think about this. So for the past thousands of years, humans, have done the same thing, right? So genetically, we've been doing, hunting, gathering, the same, right? And then we hit 1800s, the Industrial Revolution. Now we have a 9-to-5, right? Now we have the industry that has us, you go to work, you have different shifts because it's all about productivity. So that's just the past 200 and so years, right? That this happened. Our genes, our biology has not been able to adapt to that. Our biology has been doing the same thing for the past thousands of years. And for the past 200 years, we've been having to change everything to accommodate efficiency, right? And, capitalism or whatever you want to call it, just the industrial age, right? And now technology, the way it is just moving faster than what humans are capable of even reaching. How can we adapt to that? Like, think about, you're talking about like the suicide rate, right? So now where, people have a lot of mental health issues. And then you think about what's one of the biggest factors, right? Sleep, or the lack of sleep, or the circadian rhythm, right? You have REM sleep. We have all these electronics that just activates our brain functions or, messes with our REM. What does that do? What have we learned about sleep deprivation? What does the military and like special ops and all that use sometimes? And when they're trying to interrogate, they'll use sleep deprivation because that is a way of it's like a torture technique.
Oh yeah.
It frustrates you. If you don't have no sleep.
You listen to the first command that comes to you when you're that tired. You're like, get up and move.
Oh, yeah.
You just get up and move because you have no ability to think back. You're just reactive.
Yeah. It's the worst. Well, remember like in basic training and everything, like you could not sleep. They'll have you like, wake up, stand up, like get in the back. Yeah. And it was constantly, you could not, and it was just torture. So think about that. Now we have like cell phones and we have all this technology and it's just constantly, it's hitting our minds and it's messing up our, circadian rhythms. And then we have the food, which is so unnatural. Back then, you got meat, you had to eat it because it would get spoiled, right? And a way that they would prevent spoilage is by salt, right? They would use nitrates to, they didn't have fridges back then. Now we have all this. We have preservatives, and then we're pumping ourselves with all these chemicals that were pretty much invented the last, 100 years maybe? Our bodies are not adapted to all of these things are being introduced to us. We're not.
But hungers went down.
Yeah,
right?
well,
so the vast majority have benefited from these types, and I think it's just a stepping stone, because we're getting into the stem cell research now to be able to clone meat to create it, and it's supposedly supposed to be more efficient eating this stem cell protein packed meat than and I don't know why I did that. But it was,
well, you're packing the meat. Hey, aren't you married? Stop. Gotta be packing meat. What are you, a meat packer or something?
Somebody told me one day to say me gusta la pinga, and it stuck. How that works.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's stuck? After the meat packing is stuck? I hope. Yeah.
Sometimes a phrase that you say it enough times, right, with a bunch of laughter, people think, that it's really cool that you said it, then you think that that's the cool thing to do. It's weird how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Sure, whatever you say.
Specifically the person I'm talking to right now. You know how cool that is?
Yeah, sure. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon, right, bro?
Well, I mean, it's a weird thing when someone tells you how to say a phrase in Spanish, and you go around telling
everyone. Man, we're going back to that, huh?
I mean, that was the phrase. You don't remember? Me gusta la pinga.
I know. That's never going to die down. That's
you made
the
me say it so
story.
many times, and you laughed at it so many times. I was like, oh, so this must be what it takes to be cool.
No, we'll talk about that story one of these next podcasts. You'll be the one that you got to explain that story in detail.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so we're supposed
to going back to meat packing.
Yeah. It's supposed to be more efficient.
Meat.
And you think about it, if humanity can come up with a pill that is actually nutritional for the body, to take it and you're done, and you don't have to sit down and eat, because that's what we're getting. We're getting to where we're just active 24/7. We don't have family time. It's not important. You could be doing other things while you're having family time. You could be doing podcasts. So, but the thing is, if that's where society's headed, it's only a matter. I mean, that seems to be where it's going, right? Everything seems to move that way. I mean, you just eat a peg, go throughout the day. Lunchtime, throw no one in. It's got all the nutrients in it. This one's barbecue flavored. That one's, buffalo sauce flavored. Well, whatever. But it seems like where we're heading.
It's very simple, and everything has pros and cons, right? Everything's yin and yang. It's efficient, blah blah blah. You got more time to do things, but shit, what is life about then? I like to sit down and have a nice steak. I would like to go, work a week hard, make my hours, have my nice check, and maybe have a nice steak, a nice ribeye, dry aged, sit down and just sit and eat. It'd be nice to have an option just to pop a pill. Simple. Yeah, man, I'm going to get, ripped, because I could just take this. It has a whole bunch of protein.
The rip pill.
But then what does what does life then become? What are we going to do with all that time?
We can do 3 more podcasts per day.
Yeah, 3 more podcasts, or just more complaining, more nitpicking at society and people, right? More time for, to get on Facebook and Instagram and just...
More time to get on Oasis.
Oh, yeah, or Oasis or VR, whatever. Everything, for what? It's so,
You want to know how cool that book is, bro?
More time to live another life, bro. More time to live another life.
Exactly.
You can't live your life, so now you got to live in another life. Come on.
Life's just not good enough, man. We're not flying enough. No one's pilots.
We have it so figured out, right? We have life so figured out that we should live in another life too, right? Because we already have it so figured out.
That's right.
It's ridiculous. Oh, think about this, right? This is the whole thing they talk about GMOs, right? Oh, the GMOs are great because, we're able to produce more food and, less spoilage and but everything has side effects, right? When you take medication, there's a huge chance of side effects. Everything has side effects in life. Now you're even increasing more side effects because our bodies are not even used to these new chemicals. So it's like let's say we come up with a pill, a nutritious pill of food. But what are the side effects of that? What new diseases are we creating? What's happening? What's going to happen? Are we going to make things even worse by doing something so simple? Because sometimes shortcuts makes things worse. Why don't? That's why I like to get back to the basics. Mm. I don't want to eat meat that comes from a factory. I prefer to have,
not now.
somebody,
Now we don't. No, we like our customs. We like them.
Yeah.
20 years from now, though, our children's children, they might not see it so like that.
I know.
There could be an advertising scheme that really pulls them over that says, hey, spend time with your granddaddies. You're wasting your time. Just not nothing good to tell you. And then my own grandson's going to be like, hey, I already ate breakfast. I had my pill. Don't worry about it. I already got you. And then we're not going to, me and you are just going to do podcasts complaining about the generation these days. So.
Hey, the pendulum swings, man. Remember that.
That's right.
Hey, like right now, people love listening to records. People are buying turntables left and right. Like not everybody, but a lot of people.
If you're cool.
If you're freaking rad, bro. Cool, bro. No, I love turntables because right? If you like Rush and if you want to listen to like the White Album of the Beatles and all that. Oh man, awesome. No, but there's some people. They saturate themselves with something, right? So we saturated ourselves with digital, and everything is just so technologically like advanced. And then it's like, man, you know what? I want to go back to rawness. I want to be raw. And everyone then goes to the opposite, and it's like you want to feel real because technology doesn't feel as real. It's not raw. Yeah. It's always about being perfect, whatever that means. Digital and analog are just two different things.
Right.
Analog feels more real. That's why people love like muscle cars and classic cars, that rawness, stick shift. It feels more, that mechanicalness of it. It feels, I don't know, more humanistic compared to like technology feels maybe more robotic. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, maybe our genes are telling us something like, hey, I'm reminiscent on this.
That's what ethics covers. There's a technology, I don't know if it's ethics of technology or technology ethics, but it covers that. When are you making technology good for the human being, and when are you making technology good for the human being to serve the technology? It's one or the other. And a lot of people want more of the technology that betters humanity, but that's a challenge. We're unpredictable.
What's bettering humanity? To you, bettering humanity might be, be maybe more religious, right? Maybe, and then another person is like, no, maybe it's more freedom. None of that, right? It's who is the one that thinks that humanity is best? Like, we don't know.
The buyer, maybe. The consumer.
The seller.
Well, the seller puts it out there, but the buyer needs to decide. Remember
what Steve Jobs said? You make it, if people will buy it. That happens.
That Field of Dreams?
That's true.
Isn't that Field of Dreams? If you make it, they will buy it. Oh, no, that they will come. That's right.
They will come.
To the baseball field. Field of Dreams. What? Right?
What's that?
Field of Dreams, the movie?
I haven't seen that movie.
Kevin Costner? Baseball? Oh, man.
Is that an old movie?
I think it's like 70s. 90s? Yeah, maybe 80s. Maybe 90s. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But oh man, what a brilliant movie. It's got James Earl Jones in it.
Really? No, man.
God, it's so good. Kevin Costner keeps hearing this voice, and it was like, if you build it, they will come. Right? And he goes out into the cornfield, and he's got all these crops he could sell, but instead he's going to build a giant baseball field, and they got to keep selling the property. Well, they're in the mix of selling the property. He doesn't want to give it away. They're bankrupt. And he's like, no, people are going to come here to watch baseball. And the guys are like, he's crazy. And he keeps hearing that voice, if you build it, they will come. Right? And then he builds it, and these baseball players from back in the day, old baseball players, like ghost form, come from the cornfield back onto the baseball field, and they start playing in ghost form. Then people can start seeing them. And then people come see these legendary baseball players play that had already died. It's a real thing. That actually happened. It's based on a true story.
You're talking about that, and that's happening right now with this whole hologram stuff or holographic technology.
They could redo the movie in real life.
They did.
They could. You just said. They could literally build this baseball field and throw the holograms in there and make the movie actually come to life.
Yeah, no, that's true, too.
I would see that 1,000 times. I would be so
imagine doing that like with Star Wars, like like Return of the Jedi or, Empire Strike Back and just recreate that in like holographic form, and you could just be inside of that, like, I don't know, augmented reality or something, or virtual reality. That could be a thing.
Yeah.
Big money.
Well,
hey Disney. Hey Disney. You want to hire this minds? I got ideas here.
We got the thing again.
We got that. Oh man.
One.
Yeah, man. Now with this holographic technology, it's crazy. Like, we could see Michael Jackson now. Like, your kid's kid could see Michael Jackson at his prime through, this augmented reality or this holographic form. So people won't even care if somebody dies.
Yeah.
Like Prince, if a Prince died or something like that. Like, they won't care anymore because it's like, oh, well, it won't matter as much because we'll still have them in holographic form. Even, to a T. Or, you could be 80 years old and, oh, I'm Paul McCartney. I want to sing Wings, my band from like the 70s, and sing those songs like Man on the Run. And I don't have to do it. I'm just going to have my hologram.
On the run.
The run.
Yeah.
Man on the run. Yeah, so
that would be cool. I would like that. And it's hard to imagine how that would bring society together when we can all enjoy our lives without the needing of fellowships, friendships, things like that. Because we could, man, if I want to talk to somebody, I could talk to a program. And this program won't tell me I'm an idiot. This program tells me I'm the smartest person it's ever talked to. It loves talking to me. My stories, they're the best stories. My jokes, the funniest jokes ever. And I feel like that would just create this huge downfall of society when we actually start becoming solely selfish. And it would become like such a thing as if I went out to get a friend. The friend would be like, what are you, 2017? We don't make friends anymore. Like, and it would be the social pressure even to stay that way. Can you imagine that?
It is, man.
It would suck so bad.
What? iPhone, iPad, iDis, iDat. Everything is is about me, right?
Yeah.
We talk about social media, but it's all about us. Like, we're on, Twitter, or we're on Facebook, and it's all about what we think and about what us is us. Like we have this podcast, and what we're talking about is our ideas, or our feelings, our opinions. And that's what it's natural to be narcissistic, but I guess the times that we live in is just amplifying it. It encourages it. We live in a me society, and it's gonna get to a level of ridiculousness. I think it is already. I mean, hopefully the pendulum doesn't swing all the way to the other way, because that's how usually things happen. Humans are like that. But unfortunately, everything right now is about me, I. And they say, from studies that, like, millennials, us, who are more about ourselves than anything else.
Well,
it's all
so
about
as technology progresses down the road, I'm going to put my money into the groups, the companies that come out with stuff that group people together rather than allow people to do whatever they want. So just because I just don't want that to happen. So that'll be my conviction in life. That'll be me.
Do you think you're going to make a return on that investment, though?
No. No.
If you forecast it the way things are right now, you're not going to get a return on investment.
Like, if they come up with an app where we can all talk, and I got 20 people on my screen, and we're chit-chatting it up, and we're able to hold a conversation within a group and do something as group activity and build a community, I'm putting my money there. But the stuff that allows people to do whatever they want, like Oasis, and even though in the book, he makes friends, and then it gets weird, though. It's very awkward, and when he actually meets the people that he's seen only virtually, it's a very awkward confrontation. So I can't agree with that world. As much as people would probably say I love that, I think it's just such a downfall. And businesses can't do that. Well, now not at this point, because relationships, that's PR. And that's a big role. That's a big job. And you got to really be social. You really got to have skills communicating on a level that makes it flawless, smooth, comfortable. And you don't get that whenever you're isolated in a room all week, not talking to people. You don't get to that point. So the people that are good at that job, they're the ones that are going to only be good at that job. And every generation after that's going to get worse and worse and worse. So
that's true.
They'll probably be the last ones to convert over. But
That's a good freaking point. That's a good point because you know what? I had to say it. You're saying that, and it's exactly the point of right now. People use the word awkward more than anything, right? Oh, this is awkward. Oh, I don't want to look at the person in their eyes because it's awkward. Oh, I don't want to talk to the person face to face because it's awkward. I don't want to call a person without texting them first and telling them I want to call them because it's awkward. It's all, we have this social media, and what it's created is just social awkwardness that, people can't communicate. People have lost the art of communication. And what you're saying is so true, because if it turns into like Oasis, into that world of living in virtual reality and, a surrogate of yourself.
Yes. You're
going to lose that. It's going to be, talk about awkward. That's going to be really awkward. You're not going to be able to feel that emotion, that warmth or whatever. You won't be, it's just going to be weird. You're not going to be able to, because you don't have that constant communication back and forth with a person or with people. In PR, there won't be PR because you won't know how to interact. You're going to have to adapt to however, you have to for augmented or virtual reality. It's, I don't know, man. That's why I think social media needs to, we need to know how to use it without abusing it. I think we abuse it too much, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's what I
guess we could. Yeah.
That's the main point. But I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad we can get to this point and chat. Like, it's been a long time since we got to talk this much, and this is a lot of fun because of that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I like it. I like this. We're using this for good reasons, not bad reasons. Yeah. Like this is maintaining relationships. Keep having people on, and that you're bringing, that's being social,
and we'll be bringing people in. So we actually got some followers, or not followers, but we got some we have people.
Admirers? Do we have admirers?
We have people, not admirers even. I just want to say we have friends of ours that want to come on the show that have already agreed to it. So we'll be able to expand our windows. So it's not just us two. We'll be able to Brady Bunch it and try to get some more people on the show while we're talking and make it more diverse, I guess, since we think a lot alike. But that's going to be a lot of fun. When we get Jeff on here and we get Chris on here and we start making more things, and I got Dave, a buddy of mine, that wants to go on. And
oh, really? Yeah, man. Yeah. Just throwing people in there and just having different thought processes, and
they're all very different people. They're all very different.
Yeah, it's true. And some are very opinionated. Some are, just you're gonna have that dynamic, element of other thought and being able to just bounce ideas. Maybe there could be conflict. There could be like disagreements, but it's all about just embracing what's uncomfortable. It's something I learned in yoga. What's yoga? You're trying to embrace what's uncomfortable. You get into these weird positions, and you feel like, oh, this is weird. This is awkward. I shouldn't be doing this. Should I be doing this? What is this? And they encourage you, like, just accept it. It's just your body's not used to it. Yeah, embrace it. You're doing positions your body has not been using. You're using muscles that you are not ever using because you're always doing the same things. That awkwardness is just a feeling of doing something different. Embrace it, man. Embrace the difference. If we were able to do that as humans, just embrace differences. You don't have to do it, but just, okay, I accept that. Okay, I can see that. Then we could be a more accepting society.
But go through the motions of it. Actually do it. Rather than just embracing the fact that it can be you, actually do it. Yep. Then talk about it later. Don't be the one that just talks about it like, oh, I can imagine myself doing it, and it would suck. Anyone else that can do it, they suck too, because I can't imagine being cool and doing that. That's another thing that happens a lot. People talk about things they've never even been a part of or know anything about, and they put elaborate explanations about how it's wrong. They've never done it before. Yeah. And when people read doctrine, you don't know the perspective of the scholar who wrote that doctrine a lot of the times. You don't know his standpoint before you read the subject. If you're going to write a paper about someone like, Thomas Aquinas, he's a great theologian. And so you want to think of him and write a paper about something, and he's for Catholics. So you have to know that before you read. He's for the Catholic Church. You have to know that before you read any of his ideologies, because some of his ideologies have nothing to do with religion. But if you didn't know where he was coming from in his perspective, then you're not going to fully understand what he means. And that's the thing that has to happen with every research project ever done. You always have to know the perspective of the person that you're taking the notes from. Same with Wikipedia. You go to Wikipedia, you got to know where that substance is coming from. It's not going to be this non-biased material, because truly nothing is really non-biased. Like, you can really try to scope the line, which is good. You should always do that. You should really try to scope the line of being non-biased, but you really have to know that not 100% of anything is non-biased. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any content.
Yep.
You're writing it for a reason.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
There isn't. So, yeah, I guess we could leave it at that.
Yeah. So what kind of music do you want for this one? What do you want to do? Because last time we did Rush, Tom Sawyer. What do you got?
We could, since we're talking about technology, maybe throw some
electric remix
throw
in the 80s. Some Tron type.
Or some new It's the final countdown.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Since we've been counting down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.
And then
1.
we'll do it. Just final countdown.
Yeah. There you go.
I like it. All right, man.
See. All right, brother.
All right.
Awesome.
So I think this is our longer episode, but that's okay. We'll get it worked out. We'll do what we were saying.
We'll time manage.
And sounds good. I think that's it.
Have fun, man. All right, man.
Well, you have a good night.
All right, I'll talk to you.
This is the end of
I'll talk to you tomorrow, bro.
The Mike and Tim show. Again, this is Tim. That's Mike. And we'll enjoy everyone's conversations in the future.
Yeah, soon enough, we're going to start, we're going to have the Twitter. We're going to have the, Instagram account. We're going to have all that. So if people want to follow us or whatever, or throw us some messages, talk to us, disagree, whatever you want, soon enough, we'll be able to do that and, hopefully have a nice group of people. We're always able, we want to meet new people. So this is a medium. So, yeah. All right, brother.
All right, man.
All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow, bro.
Good night.
Later.